but the manager might be the biggest concern after that.
I mean, that is just one absolute fail-safe. I'm so delighted I landed on my feet and I'm also grateful there was only 3 steps.
You're okay?
Let's be fair. Yeah, no, I actually, nothing hurt, thank goodness, because if it would, I would have probably cried.
In terms of team news?
Everybody that was available last game is available today, tomorrow.
Right. Do you change your approach at all for a game like this? Obviously, you can lose 1-0 and still top the group, but you never go into a game aiming to lose 1-0. But because you don't have to win it, does that change the approach at all?
No, play to win every game. That's what you learn over the years. I don't think it's... I think the fact that we've... Why is it echoing so badly?
It's really echo, isn't it?
Is it just me?
No, well, should we try and turn that thing
To the other microphone?
We can do it again if you want to.
Any better?
As long as I make it to that land, that's totally fine.
I can't hear it.
You've better, if you caught that,
Yeah, that's
now, if you even caught it, don't you dare. Just so we're clear, I will hunt you down, Harry, if that makes any appearance around my players.
Can we sit it?
Yeah.
That sounds much better.
Yeah.
You
You stay in the top mic, yeah?
I've
Yeah,
missed
yeah,
it.
fine.
All right.
Ollie, I see you at the back with your head down. Chloe, let me tell you, I will find you.
Are we back live? Ollie, are we back live?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, so I'll just ask that same question again then. So the approach is always to win regardless of what the permutations are?
Yeah, I think last year was such a learning curve for the team. When you're going into a game where you say, oh, we don't have to, as long as we don't lose by a certain number, catastrophic headspace. One, I wouldn't entertain at all. I think training's been hard, and it's been hard for many reasons, because if the team aspires for the biggest things, then it has to train with that application, and well, certainly stimulated different overloads this week with that in mind, and I expect that my team has the right approach, and I'd be disappointed if it was otherwise.
Come the final whistle tomorrow night, you looking forward to the break?
I feel bad for saying yes, because I had 6 weeks off and I feel fresh as a daisy. I am happy for my staff and the players that they get a break. Me personally, I'm just finding the feet again.
And obviously, it gives you a chance to sort of reflect on the first chunk of the season. It couldn't have really gone much better, could it?
I think sometimes in the eyes of our fans it can. And as I always say, we have to be, I think, extremely grateful for this team. This is a team that's been at the top, at least domestically, for a long time. And I think the fact that we can continue to maintain a set of standards that we live and die by is, for me, always the thing you can be most proud of. What I've learned is that the hardest thing to do is to keep winning. So, credit to the players to get us to the halfway point.
This will be the last time we speak to you this year, so
Yeah.
a more sort of general reflective question on 2022, not just for Chelsea, but for women's football in this country. Has it been the year that attitudes towards women's game changed?
In wider society, yes. I think the gradual growth has been happening anyway, so there was already a solid foundation. It took an explosive moment, like the Euros, to almost like inject steroids into the sport and fast forward our journey. But I think the foundations are underpinning it are able to cope with those challenges. So it's about sustaining where we are now and going again, especially with the World Cup on the horizon next year. But what a wonderful year for women's football, and particularly for the Lionesses. They've certainly made the whole country proud of their achievements.
And from your own point of view, you said, you're just finding your feet now, so the break's kind of almost coming.
I don't know if those
time.
stairs have anything to go by. Clearly I am not finding my feet.
Over the next 3.5 weeks. Obviously, you know, you've got Christmas and Harry to look after as well. But how much will you think about Arsenal away in the middle of January, and how much will you completely switch off?
No, I would lie to you if I told you I'd be poring over materials for the beginning of the year. Switch off means switch off, and it's there for a reason, because you've got to create the headspace to be able to go and have another jump. My first thought will be when we come back, we're going on a warm weather sort of training camp, getting that preparation right, and then into the first game, which just happens to be Arsenal.
Which on paper, you know, is the
A
toughest
cracker.
game of the season, isn't it?
The
Arsenal
game
away.
everybody wants to see, at least derby game in London. Manchester has one. The top games,
Yeah.
two top teams on top form. You know, they're the games I love the most.
On the subject of Arsenal, they've had, you know, Beth and Viv to suffer the same season-ending injury within weeks of each other. You know, two players not only in the same squad but they live under the same roof. It can be a cruel game, can't it, football?
Yeah, I mean, for the game to lose two players of that quality and the World Cup to lose those players is horrendous for both of them. And I've been a huge advocate of looking after the players and getting it right. But I think my comments in and around the management piece around fatigue and keeping players on the pitch would take an entire day.
Yeah.
So I'll have to save that for the book, I guess.
Is that one of the sort of, you spoke about the popularity of the game and how the game is growing increasingly. Is that one of the flip sides of it, that because you're playing more now and there is heavier demand on these players, these injuries are going to
No,
happen?
this has nothing to do with playing more, in my opinion. Nothing. This is not simplistic as that. We don't play anywhere near the number of games they do in the men's game, but they don't have the same number of this type of injury. It is a much bigger conversation that goes beyond this interview.
Can you touch upon it at all?
Can't. It's too long. It's not simplistic. It's not as simple as just, is it fatigue? Is it games? Is it hormonal? Is it their boots? It's a lot. There's a huge conversation around it, and one that is tragic for the players. And I think it's about knowledge, and is the knowledge there around to be able to deliver what is required to keep players on the pitch.
Well, as it's a conversation for another day, I'll change the subject then. I'll ask you one final question. Last time I was here, you told me how baking has become a passion. Have you made the Christmas pudding this year yourself?
No, but he's into my banana cake.
Is that right?
The good thing is chocolate banana cake with Nutella seems to be the flavour of the week. Chocolate pudding, Christmas pudding, I'll leave that for my mum.
That's for your mum. This is your biggest critic, is it, in the baking? Yeah.
Clearly. Leaves most of it.
Thanks, Emma.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Thanks very much, everyone. We'll be right back with Magdalena Eriksson shortly.
Cheers.
All right.
back with Magdalena next. Straight back over to you, Jamie.
Thanks very much, Sam. Hi, Magdalena. Obviously, there's this sort of permutation that you can afford to lose tomorrow night and still top the group, but this group of players go into every game trying to win it, don't they?
Yeah, 100%. Like, I think that thought hasn't even crossed my mind. Like, we're really, really happy and pleased that we have qualified already from this tough group. But I mean, we're winners and we're going into every single game we play with the objective to win. I think it's a great test tomorrow for us to see where we're at against another top team in Europe, and we're gonna go all in and hopefully get a win before we go on our Christmas break.
And obviously, you're fully focused on the game itself, but come the final whistle, are you looking forward to having a little bit of time off?
Yeah, definitely. But I'm the type of person, if I don't get a good result tomorrow, I'm going to be annoyed for the whole Christmas break. So I know that the game is my first priority, and then if we get a good result, I know I'm going to enjoy it. And yeah, definitely, it's been a lot of games, a lot of travel. So definitely looking forward to some downtime with family.
Have you got nice plans for Christmas?
Yeah, just going home.
Yeah.
I haven't been home to see my family in Sweden for, I don't know, 6 months, I think. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
And reflecting on the first chunk of the season, 9 wins out of 10 in the league and hopefully topping the group in the Champions League as well, it couldn't have gone much better the first half of the season.
No, not really. It's just that first game of the season, really. And I think what's great with us is we can have, we're human, we can have bad performances, but we always make sure we don't make it a habit. And I think since my time at Chelsea, that has always been the case. We've always bounced back from a single bad incident or a single bad performance, and I think that's why we have been so successful. So I'm really proud of our reaction from that first loss against Liverpool away, and yeah, also how we've handled this group. We got another tough draw this year, and I think we really embraced it, and we were really excited about just getting a better outcome of the group stage than we did last year, and we have, and now we just want to finish on a high.
I asked Emma this question as well, and reflecting on the year as a whole, not just from a Chelsea point of view, but in terms of women's football, how big a year has this been, especially in this country? Maybe in Sweden women's football is already getting the recognition it deserved, but in this country, has this year been a transformative year for the game?
Absolutely. I think we've seen it. Every single game I've played in the WSL, no matter where it's been a big crowd, a much noisier crowd than last year, and it's really cool to see that the effects of the Euros, you can feel it, and it's also stayed on. It's not just died out after a couple of months.
Yeah.
I feel like women's football is here to stay in England, and it's just amazing to be a part of it and to be able to experience it as a player.
And from your own point of view, you said you'll take a bit of time off, spend time with family over Christmas, but are you the sort of person that can completely switch off, or will part of your brain be thinking about Arsenal away on January the 15th?
No, I think I've got better at giving myself or allowing myself to switch off. But yeah, if we don't get the result that I want tomorrow, then of course I'm going to be thinking about that game over Christmas. But no, it is important to mentally switch off. You have to be able to do that at this level, otherwise you'll pick up something or you won't be able to last very long. So I'm definitely going to try and just go into family mode, spend some time with them, and just switch off from football as much as I can.
And just in terms of Arsenal, there seem to have been a lot more serious injuries in the first half of the season, and we've seen now in the last few weeks for both Beth Mead and Viv Miedema to have the same season-ending injury within a few weeks of each other. It's just a reminder of how cruel football can be sometimes.
Yeah, it's extremely sad. I'm gutted for both of them, and there's a long list of top players now that have got serious injuries, and it's a big shame. And I just hope that this is the kind of fuel that everyone needs to really look into women's football and really investigate how women bodies work. What kind of training do we need? Do we need something different than what we have done before? So hopefully we can come further in that knowledge, because I think that's something now, it's long overdue. And then it's all about just increasing the medical expertise in the women's teams. I think we have a really good setup here at Chelsea, but I know that we're like the top 1% of women's football. There's not a lot of teams who have it as good as we have it. So I think it's really, really important that we keep investing in women's football and keep investing in medical departments and performance departments and all that.
From a psychological point of view, obviously Pernille is injured at the moment as well. To have your other half being that sort of rock who's there for you to guide you through those tough times, how important is that? And the fact that Beth and Viv have the same long-term injury, just how tough is that going to be for them?
I think it's really nice to have someone who knows what you're going through. So even though, I've had to be Pernille's rock maybe now during the first weeks of her, but she's also always been my rock. Even if she's injured now, she is the one who helps me with how I should deal with difficult moments of my career or difficult moments on the pitch. So it's really nice to have someone close to you who understands what you're going through and knows exactly the right things to say.
Thanks very much. Best of luck tomorrow night. Enjoy Christmas.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, Sam.
Thank you.